This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Recently, I've been hearing some horror stories from friends who also work in tech, so I decided to make this video to see how you guys will react. In my career so far as an engineer, I've seen firsthand developers who are 10 times smarter and more productive than me. I've also seen people with 10 more years of experience than me, and I've seen them all doing the same job for more or less the same pay as me. And I wondered, why aren't they progressing? Why are they stuck? And I'm not gonna lie, at first it feels kinda good to be shoulder to shoulder with these more experienced people. But then one day I had this unnerving thought in the back of my brain. Is this really the finish line? Am I looking at my own future here? Recently, it became crystal clear, and the short answer is yes. So I want to show you what I realized talking with my friends. I ask you to come with an open mind, leave your assumptions and grudges against management behind, leave your existing career goals and imagine yourself as a manager for a second. Put yourself in the shiny shoes of some C-level exec and imagine your company is growing. Your product roadmap is filled with exciting new features, your investors filled your pockets with lots of money, and now you need to hire new people and hire them fast. And that's all very reasonable, but in practical terms that means you need to put in place an engineering leadership position. You need someone to lead the new hires and take some of the work off your shoulders. And now, to make things more interesting, let's also imagine you have a very experienced developer on your team that is vastly more productive than 90% of other people. Sounds like that could be the best person for the job, but let's take a moment to consider all the options. 1. You can promote this 10x developer person from a developer role to a leadership role, double their pay, add more responsibility, and then fill in the missing developer position that's left behind. Okay, so far so good. But 2, you can also find someone else from your organization who is more suitable for this leadership position. And we'll talk about who this could be. Or 3, you can hire an outside person that already comes with quote-unquote leadership experience to be the superior of that 10x developer you already have, but work under you, of course. So how do you choose? My younger self would say, well, of course you promote the 10x developer who deserved it through hard work and many contributions over the years. Of course you promote the person who knows in and out the horizontal autoscaling parameters in production. Of course you promote the person who designed and built the majority of the systems you have in place today. And most importantly, of course you take care of your best people. But not so fast. Think about it, you are a C-level exec. If you displace a person who is 10 times more productive than anyone else in terms of coding, and who has so much knowledge and experience, where the fuck are you gonna find another person to fill in the knowledge and productivity gap that is now left behind? Not so easy now, is it? You would risk delaying new product features, losing customers, making your investors angry, and most importantly, you risk your annual performance bonus. And for what? Remember, you are a C-level exec. C-level execs get bonuses. As a leader yourself, you need data to back up your decisions. You need a spreadsheet and a PowerPoint theme, but you have no prior data to prove that the 10x developer will be a good leader. The only thing this person excels at is putting out fires in production and churning out new product features. And that's all great, but fact of the matter is most engineers are slightly intimidated or at least reluctant to talk to this person. But also you don't have the time to put this developer through the necessary leadership training. Your company needs to hire now, not in 6 months. And you already lost some time finding a good PowerPoint theme. And finally, even if you wanted, what do you personally have to gain from all of that? The gratitude of a single developer? Gratitude doesn't pay annual performance bonuses. But you know what does pay a bonus? Having your own startup or a side hustle. And this is where today's sponsor Squarespace comes in. I've been using Squarespace to host the pages for my side hustle, which is this YouTube channel, and I love making free little wallpaper packs or useful apps for my audience. And this is where I'm hosting all of my public pages. Don't waste time coding HTML and CSS in 2023 when you can be coding a new product or a startup right now. And if you need a website with built-in analytics, a CDN, and a link in bio for your socials, be reasonable. Use the link in the description and get 10% off of your Squarespace subscription. Okay, but back to your C-level exec role. How do you find the right person for the engineering leadership position? Well, first of all, because you are a reasonable person, you immediately decide that you're not gonna fix things that aren't broken, and you're gonna leave the 10x developer right where they are. Shit, you're not even gonna move their desk, and God forbid let anyone touch the little plants they put on the nearby window. So how do you fill that leadership position then? Well, you could hire an outside person to do the job, and that's what most companies end up doing, but if that's not possible, you're gonna have to look for a suitable candidate within your own organization. And this is where things become really interesting. But I hear you ask, who is more suitable than the 10x developer? Well, let me give you the cold truth, and you won't like it, I promise. It's the 1x developer who just happens to be extroverted. I can smell the resentment already, but let's explore this idea. Remember, you're not a developer, you're a C-level exec, and you need someone who will, number 1, excel at giving motivational speeches right before the company's hackathon.
Hello everyone, I am Michael Scott.
Even though the company hackathon is just a very long hard work for nothing but a pizza, while the marketing, sales, accounting and other departments are partying, you need someone who can phrase it as a gift. You can now finally have the freedom to work on things that are not the features you work on every day. You can finally use a language of your own choice. Always wanted to try Haskell? Go for it. The company supports you. Isn't our company culture amazing? You also need someone who is not awkward to talk to. You need someone who will be liked by business partners in sales calls with B2B customers. You need someone who doesn't go down the rabbit hole of explaining the TLS handshake when asked about the single sign-on feature. You need someone who can give difficult performance feedback with a smile on their face. You need someone whom you can replace with a single 1x developer to fill the gap. And lastly, are you ready for this one? You need someone that you as a leader aren't intimidated or threatened by in terms of expertise. So looking at it now, the 10x developer simply doesn't fit the bill. You have to look for other options. And so what if you don't have a suitable 1x developer right now? What if all of them are introverted? Then you resort to hire someone urgently from outside your org with quote-unquote leadership experience. One very funny thing that happens with such hires is they tend to be the people who have mastered the art of failing forward. Oftentimes you'll find that a leadership position at one startup is a person whose only prior experience is a leadership position of another startup. That startup most likely failed or got acquired for dev talent with no actual exit. That's called failing forward. There's cases of people who eventually land a job in a leadership position at a very large corporation with no actual success or exit under their belt. A few years later they might even get a large severance package that's larger than your retirement fund just because they were at the right place at the right time. And while you're out there working your ass off trying to write better code every day, someone out there is failing forward. So now how do you position yourself for success? How can you be the developer who actually gets promoted? Well, first of all, never be the 10x developer. Never be irreplaceable. Because if you truly are irreplaceable, then guess what? Ain't nobody gonna replace you from where you are, even if that is for a promotion. Be replaceable, but above all, be likable. Be a 1x developer and make sure you have your camera on Zoom meetings. That's critical. Be sure to organize knowledge sharing sessions, team feedback sessions, engineering retrospectives, brown bag sessions, and push people to join all the fucking time right before the end of working hours in a very visible way on a public Slack channel, always. Add recurring calendar meetings and just in case, invite everyone. Don't intimidate people with your deep expertise. Learn how to talk about sports and the stock market instead. Make sure you talk at length about enabling people. That's a key phrase. Talk about engineering velocity and never use conventional time units like weeks or months. Say developer hours instead. Talk about unblocking efficiency. And if you can, avoid at all costs putting out fires in production. Let other people become experts at that. Instead, organize a retrospective after the fires have been put out. Well, that's my spiel for today. Let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments. Did something like this happen to you or a friend? Let me know.